Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for reaction to this morning's 4-0 friendly victory over DC United, the first friendly in the US tour. Watched the game back this morning. Thought it was good by all accounts. Sometimes these pre-season games are strange and they barely even resemble a football match at times, but I actually thought we played well last night. A lot of changes through the game, as you would expect. Still relatively early in the team's preparations, but I thought we played with good intensity. I thought off the ball the intensity was decent. You could see that even some of the senior players that started were really trying to put the running in, get their sharpness up, get their fitness to where it needs to be. And I thought with the ball we created loads of chances, quick, incisive build up at times. I know that some of this boils down to the level of the opposition. In DC United, they are partway through a season. To be fair, I think they're struggling in their MLS campaign, but they are midway through a season, so they should be in good shape physically. Although I think they end up with 3 or 4 players coming off injured. There's a lot of stoppages in the game, and it was mainly for their players going down injured. But from our point of view, the team in the first half, let's have a quick look at it. It was Bain in goals. It was 17-year-old Toby Donovan at right back, Welsh and Scales at centre half, Matt Anderson, another youngster at left back. The midfield was Iwata, Hatate and O'Reilly, and then the strong front three, Kuhn, Kyogo and Palma. I thought Matt O'Reilly was brilliant. Obviously, Matt O'Reilly was excellent in the game. He could have played it with slippers on. He obviously gets the 2 goals in the first half. I think it was good to see the likes of Hatate get time. He needs a strong pre-season. He needs to get up to his top sharpness, because I think he struggled obviously with his fitness last campaign. I think Palma looked okay, looked decent. He's another one you're looking for more from, a better intensity, being more incisive in the forward areas. He looked okay. I thought Kuhn looked pretty good. Again, where the jury's still out on him. Unfancied, and I think I was unimpressed by him in a lot of games back end of last season, but he looked quite sharp yesterday. Kyogo looked sharp as well, got an end a couple of chances, and even though we went in 2-0 at half time, the DC United goalkeeper had 2 or 3 brilliant saves. One for a Kyogo header right before the first goal for Matt O'Reilly. Glancing header, Kyogo's movement brilliant. It's actually a great header into the far corner, but the keeper makes a great save. And then just minutes later, Iwata gets down the side for the second phase of the corner, cuts it back, and it's deflected to Matt O'Reilly, who finishes in his right foot through the goalkeeper's legs. And then I think it's about 5 minutes later, Kyogo goes again through one-on-one, tries to dink it over the keeper, but he rushes out and makes a good save, but it falls to Matt O'Reilly on the edge of the box, who finishes again on his right foot. So O'Reilly was brilliant, but lots of promising play, particularly in the forward areas. I thought Donovan at right back was decent. It's good for these young boys to get minutes with the first team every day in the training. They'll be getting exposed to what the senior players are like, what the top players are like, to see the level they need to get to. But it's always good for them to get some minutes. I thought he done all right. I thought Matt Anderson was decent as well on the left-hand side. He had a really good chance, I think, towards the end of the first half, where he puts in the running down the left-hand side, overlaps Lewis Palma. Palma plays a nice ball into him, and he just flashes his shot across the far post. So I think for those 2 young boys at fullback, I think a really good run out, good experience for them. We might see them a wee bit more in the games against Man City and Chelsea, but as we go through, obviously you expect the team to get stronger. That team that started in the first half last night is probably the strongest team that we've had in the friendlies so far, after the games against Ayr and the games against Queen's Park. So it will get gradually stronger. We've still got big players who weren't involved last night, like Dyson Maeda, didn't play any part, Carter Vickers, and obviously Alistair Johnston, who were on international duty for a longer period of time. They're not involved yet, so we will get stronger as we go through. But I think there was a lot of promising signs last night. In the second half, we make a lot of changes. We'll have a quick look at the team in the second half. Sinisalo got his Celtic debut off the bench. Ralston came on with about half an hour to go. Lagerbielke as well. Taylor came on for Scales. Kobayashi came on at half time, so Kobayashi moved into centre half. Taylor went to left back. The midfield was Lawal, McGregor, Home. James Forrest came on to great effect. Mikey Johnston played through the middle, which will come in a second, and Yang played off the left-hand side. I think there was one more change in the game where the young boy Turley came on for the last 5 minutes and Lawal came back off. I thought Lawal was decent in his showing a lot of good tackles, breaking up the play. I did see Brendan Rodgers' quotes though a couple of days back about how they need they can have talent, but they need more than that to play in a Celtic team. I think he's maybe just sending a wee message that the level is high and they need to push to get there. Whether the likes of players like Lawal might go back out on loan this season, we don't know. This is brilliant opportunity for them to impress the manager and to impress their teammates, their more senior teammates as well. But I thought Holm was decent. I thought James Forrest was brilliant. He's been on the pitch less than 10 minutes and he's scored and set one up for Mikey Johnston. Really, really good, just so technically efficient. James Forrest, calm. Yang did well actually to set him up for his goal because it's a ball through by Greg Taylor, a really nice pass. And Yang's through one-on-one defender beside him, but Forrest has made the run. He's got an open goal and he's really unselfish and lays him in. Mikey Johnston obviously scored as well. Great work for James Forrest. Even initially when the play's building out, Forrest brings it down with a great touch. It goes over the other side and then works back across, and Forrest gets in down the right hand side, plays a lovely ball across for Mikey Johnston, who can't miss. He did go on to miss a penalty though, Johnston, and I think the fact that he's playing through the middle is a cause for concern, because this week the Adam Ida saga has gone very quiet after he played for Norwich in a friendly against Club Brugge, and the Norwich manager was really complimentary and said he's had conversations with him and he'd like to see him this season. After that bid being rejected, it looks like we haven't followed it up very quickly with another bid. So for now, the Adam Ida pursuit is on the back burner and we've only got one striker and it's Kyogo. So we've got to get that sorted. We don't have a great deal of time until that first game of the season. It is only about 2 weeks to go. The club have got to get a move on with this transfer business. I said at the start of the week I thought Bernardo might even join Sinisalo and Schmeichel, but that's not been done either. There's a story every day about Paulo Bernardo, the deal being agreed, and then another story about the deal being agreed, and then another story about the deal being agreed, and then personal terms being negotiated, and then personal terms being negotiated. It feels like this has been going on for like 3 or 4 weeks. He's not here yet. I think the club need to get a move on with this transfer business, because as I say, by the time the end of next week comes, it's closing in on us that first league game against Kilmarnock, and I know there's still another 3 or 4 weeks to go at the window after that, but you want the squad to be as strong as possible for the first game. You don't want to be, it's typical for Celtic, but you don't want to be trying to get players in a rush at the last minute because you've not done your business in good enough time. The manager's no time to work with the players through the full of pre-season, and you're just trying to rush deals over the line as we get towards the last few days of the window. We can't have one fit striker. We can't have that. O's gone. As I say, who knows what's happening with Ida? Not a lot at the minute. We've got to have a list of other options there, and we've got to go and try and get deals done as quickly as we can. There's no excuse for the club. I keep saying this. There's no excuse for the club to be underprepared, given the financial muscle they've got at the minute. There's no excuse for not giving the manager the players that he needs, and getting the deals done in a swift manner. See if you need to pay a wee bit extra, then you're just going to have to bite your tongue and do that, because at the end of the day, we're sitting on a lot of cash. Other clubs know that, and they will be negotiating hard with us, as we do. On our part as well, so we've got to just bite the bullet and get these deals done and get some players in. But back to the game, obviously Mikey Johnston missed his penalty, make it 5-0. I think it could have been 7, 8 or 9. The DC United goalkeeper in the first half, who came off in the second half, had a string of brilliant saves, and then obviously the sub-keeper that comes on makes, to be fair, for Mikey Johnston's a good save. Obviously always want somebody to score a penalty, but it's down low to his right hand side. He got a strong hand to it, so I think we could have had even more goals. I think we created a lot of good chances, and like I say, watching a lot of pre-season friendlies over the years, sometimes they're a really, really terrible spectacle, but I thought we played well. I thought we played with good intensity, and I think a highlight for most people watching it as well is that we were getting the ball forward quicker, we were moving it with a bit of speed. That's something we want to see sustained this season, from match day one in the league, from minute one. We want to see the team be more positive, be more attacking, and play with more speed. That was the big thing that held us back last season. I hope that's a clear message for the manager about trying to do things at a higher speed with more intensity when we were on the ball. And again, you've got to obviously qualify it with the level of opposition. I think we were comfortable in the game, never really looked under any pressure. I think Bain had one save in the first half. Sinisalo had a really basic save for long distance is all I can remember from him. Other than that, he just had to deal with the ball at his feet, which he looked decent at, but we'll see how he develops moving forward. And it's great to see Kasper Schmeichel's finally joined up with the squad as well. Whether he'll be involved against Man City, I don't know, but I'd like to think he'd get some sort of minutes against Chelsea. I know he's only really just joining the group, and he'll be starting his training in the next day or two and getting to know his teammates. But it'd be great to see him get some minutes over there in the US tour as well. So there you go. That's just a quick roundup of last night's game. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I did watch all 90 minutes this morning, and I was relatively impressed. We go into Man City now. They're a bit early. They will be a bit earlier in their preparations than us. I'd expect a lot of young players to play for them, but again, that will be a step up. They've maybe had some big players who weren't involved at the Euros in the summer as well, the likes of Haaland, who's likely to be involved if he's fit. So there is some big players in there. That'll be a big test for us. But again, you'd expect the team to be a wee bit further forward in their fitness, and some of the big players who we saw return today, the likes of McGregor, the likes of Greg Taylor, James Forrest, the guys who were away in the Euros squad with Scotland, they're back in. Their fitness levels will be getting better as they train with the group over the next few days. And we'll be back with you to reflect on that Man City friendly as well. And of course, when we get new transfer news, we'll be back with you to discuss it as well. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.